A waitress was serving a family with 2 children, but she was taken aback when the parents only ordered 1 kiddie meal. Curious, she observed them after serving the food, and she noticed that the little girl is not getting any food. The rest of the family was not even speaking to the little girl. It was as if she was invisible. The waitress made a sign and waited for the little girl to look her way. The sign said, "Do you need help?" The girl's response was unexpected. Before we start, can we get this video to 1,000 likes? Please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Judith had been working as a waitress for a long time. Because of her experience, she has developed a talent for reading people. Because of that, she knows just how to approach people and has become an effective server. One afternoon, a small family walked in. Judith looked at the couple and the 2 kids they had with them. She immediately had a gut feeling that something was off. They looked like a normal family on the outside, but there was something strange about them. Judith escorted the family to a table and then gave them time to look at the menu while she served other customers who were ready to order. The family seemed okay, but she never was wrong when it comes to her instincts. Judith passed by the family's table several times. She noticed that they were quieter compared to other guests, even if they had 2 kids with them. But that seemed like a good thing. Maybe it will become an easy table for her to serve that night. Tables with children are usually difficult. Judith knew that even the most well-behaved children can become restless while waiting for their food. Some would even be running around the restaurant and making loud noises, but these kids were different. She almost felt guilty for the way she judged them hastily. When the father called her over to take their order, Judith approached them with a big smile. But then something happened to make the bad vibe come back. When they were done ordering, Judith can't help but notice that they only got 3 meals. They only ordered 1 kiddie meal from the menu, which is weird since they have 2 kids with them. The family looked like they can afford another meal, so what was wrong? The servings were not big enough to share around. Judith worried that one of the kids would not be able to eat anything. Even if that kid was a picky eater, the parents could have at least ordered something. Judith decided to keep an eye on the family. She noticed that everyone was talking except for the little girl. She was quiet and did not even react when her brother and parents were laughing. Oddly, the young girl did not look upset at all. There was a time when the little girl tried to get up from the table. It looked like she wanted to go to the bathroom. But as soon as she moved, the father held onto her hand and would not let her move. It was very strange and creepy. Judith saw that the family's food was ready to serve. She got the meals and set the full-sized ones in front of the parents. She then held up the single kiddie meal. Judith decided she needed to do something, so she casually asked who the kiddie meal was for. The father responded that the meal was for his son. The boy looked pleased that his meal was ready, and the little girl did not react at all. Judith feigned confusion and asked if a second kiddie meal was missing from their order for the little girl. The parents seemed to be taken aback by the question. The parents looked at each other nervously, and the girl looked at Judith with particular interest. The father then laughed nervously and said that his daughter was not hungry. Judith did not believe him, but the parents acted like they were already done with her. Judith knew she could get in trouble if she pushed it further. Judith continued to observe the family from afar. Judith had to find a way to communicate with the little girl without her parents knowing. Judith grabbed a piece of paper and wrote in big letters, "Do you need help?" She waved to the little girl and showed her the sign. The girl saw her, looked at her parents, and then nodded when her father was looking away. Judith then wrote down "Okie" to let the girl know help is on the way. Now that she has the confirmation she needed, Judith needs to come up with a plan to get to the little girl alone. Judith came up with a plan, but it would require the help of her colleagues. Judith went to her closest friends at work and told them about the family. One of them agreed that there was something off with the parents as well. Judith asked if one of them could spill some water on the father and the girl so that they could leave the table and go to the bathroom. The plan would cause a scene, so Judith decided to ask the boss first so that nobody gets fired over her plan. After hearing the whole story, the boss agreed that they must at least try to help the girl, so he allowed the plan to take place. Judith's colleague prepared the glasses of water and pretended to trip when she passed by the family's table. Both father and daughter were drenched. The father got very mad with Judith's colleague, which Judith took as a sign that there was something off with him. Judith and her boss intervened to apologize and help clean up. The father got up to clean himself up in the bathroom. Judith, meanwhile, asked permission from the mother if she could clean up the little girl in the bathroom. The mother looked at Judith as if she just asked her a crazy question. She looked reluctant, but the little girl said she needed to dry out. Everyone was already staring at them. The mother looked around to see if her husband was returning soon. When she saw her husband was out of sight, she agreed. The strange thing was that she pulled Judith's arm to make her lean over and whispered, "Take her quickly." Judith and her boss exchanged looks, and they knew this was getting serious. Judith and the little girl rushed to the bathroom. The little girl looked relieved that she was finally away from her family. The girl said her name was Anna and asked if she could trust Judith. Judith assured her that she wanted to help, but they were interrupted by a loud noise. It was Anna's father, and he sounded angry. He knocked on the door and demanded Anna come out. Judith could hear her boss trying to reason out with the father, but the father was far from calm. Anna's father shouted that he would call the cops if Anna did not come out of the bathroom. Judith helplessly opened the door and told the father that they were just cleaning up, but the father did not even acknowledge Judith. The angry father grabbed Anna's hand and practically dragged her back to their table. Judith could not believe she was so close and failed, but she was not giving up. The girl confirmed she needed help, and the mother wanted the girl to be rescued. Judith could not let this slide. Judith mustered up the courage to confront the father. The father told her to mind her business and that he did not owe her any explanation. Judith knew she had to do the right thing. She approached the family's table with determination. The father looked at her and asked if she came to apologize. Judith told him to be quiet loudly so that other customers would hear. She told the father to come clean about what was going on and why was he treating his daughter rudely. But to her surprise, the father started clapping. Judith was taken aback. Is he kidding? Why was he not taking her seriously? But then, the mother started clapping, and so did the little kids on the table. Judith looked around and saw that almost everyone was clapping too. Out of nowhere, a camera crew arrived on the scene. The father told Judith that she should not worry anymore. Her boss approached her and thanked her for doing the right thing. Anna then stood up and gave Judith a hug, telling her that she was a good person. Judith was confused. She has no idea what was going on. It turned out that Judith's boss had suggested a hidden camera program that exposed to the world that there are still kind and good people out there. Everyone in the restaurant at that time was an accomplice. Judith did not know what to say. She thanked everyone emotionally and said that it felt great to have her good deeds recognized. Her boss and the camera crew thanked her for being such a good sport and told her they will inform her when the episode would come out on the show. A few weeks later, everyone gathered to watch Judith's episode on the show. Judith still could not believe that it really happened. Everything was so surreal, and it looked like it was too good to be true. She and her colleagues and family had fun watching it together in the restaurant. The truth is, Judith has had a rough year, but her boss admired her for still staying positive and being a bright and sunny presence in the restaurant. Her boss and her colleagues wanted Judith to know how much they appreciate her.